Hello! Today is Monday, February 15th, and we will be doing some game dev stuff. So let me actually get the version of Unity that I need loaded up. I have done a little bit of work off camera with this, but it'll be just a second. There we go, now it's loading up. Yeah, just a little bit of work. We're developing a game, a sort of sci-fi starship kind of game. The idea is that you have a system that you are trying to defend, so it's similar to like a wave defense kind of thing. You can hire ships from planets, and you have to manage them. Yes. Okay. Is the camera working? No, of course it's not. There it is. Okay. Popped into existence. All right. So I did some work on this off camera. So if we look at it, it did not have the star field background. It didn't have the textures on the sun. It's not the best texture. Okay, it's not a good texture either, but you know, it's a thing. So if we click on one of the planets here, you see we get a little planet dialog. I changed this from being a gray to being a blue because I think the blue looks a little bit nicer. And also, actually, let me maximize this so that it looks a bit better. But yeah, I changed from from gray to blue. And yeah, if we select the planets, we get different options here. Oh, hey, Reaper. Select FT up a tower defense. Yes, that is a very great way to put it. I made it for like a game jam a couple years ago. I think it was the Brackies game jam, actually. Oh god. Okay, camera's working. But yeah, it's exactly like that. So enemies will spawn, later on they'll spawn in sort of the outer ring here, and they will come towards the different planets and try to destroy them. So yeah. But yeah, with that we can click on a ship, or sorry, click on a planet, and we can build a new ship. Not the best ship model, but you know, it works. Yeah, we can select it, we can direct it around. And yeah, we can select our little resource nodes here. And yeah, today we need to finish a bunch of stuff. First thing we need to do is we need to recolor the inside of this so that this is actually more visible. Then after that, we either need to work on the actual wave spawning or the rest of the UI. I've been spending a lot of time on UI, so I don't know if we're gonna do that. Yeah, let us go into here. Let's click this. All right. So if we open, let's say, I think it's the details panel here. Yes, it is. Okay. If we open, I think it is the ship details. Nope. Oh, wait a minute. No, it isn't. It's the planet details. What am I doing? It's planet details. Yes, there we go. All right, we need to recolor the content. This needs to be a darker color, like that probably. And we can grab that, and then we can put this in the template for the tabs. And that should make the tabs that color as well. So I think this needs to be disabled and that needs to be disabled. All right, and so that should make the tabs more legible at the very least. So just me being a stickler, but will you add any blue to the massive central planet? Oh, so this is the sun. This is supposed to be the sun, I should say. It used to be, so in the original game it actually was a central planet, but I decided to make it a sun in this one. Ooh. I see what I did wrong there. Okay. Yeah, no, it does not look like a sun, but it's the best I could do. Right, so this should be, the highlight color should be that, and then the actual color should be a bit lighter, like that. All right, and that might work. See, it's not great, but it's better. I'm not gonna go too crazy with it. Yeah, okay. That first planet will be extra crispy. Yeah, it's a little, you know, they probably wouldn't all be like Earth type planets, but we're pretending. Yeah, it would be a little extra crispy. It would be kind of. I mean, the sun would actually probably be like thousands of times larger than that too. But we're pretending. I mean, in the original one, it actually was a planet. Let me see if I can actually find. Nope, let's not do that. Let's see if I can actually find the original. Where is? I'm gonna spend like maybe 2 seconds looking for it. If I can remember how to actually switch accounts. Okay, there we go. Oh, I'd have to log in. Alright, I can't do that. It's cold today at 100 trillion degrees. It's actually really cold where I'm at. It's weird because I'm actually in Texas, but we actually got snow last night. And it's like it's one of the first times I've seen snow. Like, I don't think it's actually the first time. And my camera is really freaking out. But yeah, it's one of the like first couple times I've ever seen snow. It's like the first time in recent memory. But I think I've seen it maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago? No, not 10 years ago, maybe like 7. Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, that's not what I meant to do at all. But yeah, so one of two things. We can either keep working on the UI, or we can, yeah, let's just finish off the UI. Alright, so let me remember what we were trying to do with this. Oh, we didn't mock out the planet UI actually. Now I remember. That was one of the issues. Yeah, I didn't actually mock this out. Okay. So for the actual ships, so what is it going to do with the actual ships? It's probably going to show the ship details. I'm in New Jersey. Last 2 weeks has been on and off snow. Oh jeez. So 2 to 3 feet. Oh god. That's crazy. Yeah, I had the bodies. Yeah, I can't. Yeah. Well, actually, you probably wouldn't want to hide bodies in snow because I think the snow would actually preserve the bodies very well. You'd want them to like deteriorate. Not that I've ever thought about anything like that, but yeah, I think the snow would actually keep them in like good conditions. You probably wouldn't want to do that. I don't know if you're into that kind of thing. I don't know. Let's see. So new ship. What's the width of this? It's gonna be height 50 probably. No, height 40. No, that's good. Let's do this. And I think this needs to be. Why is it not showing me the pivot? Needs to go there. Nope. That needs to go there. Yes. Okay. 0, 0. Perfect. Alright, so I kind of want that at the bottom, and then it will probably be have to add like the name of the ship. Half of what I say is a joke. So take me too seriously. But I mean, is that a correct assumption though? That like hiding bodies in snow would probably be a bad idea. Not that I've ever thought about it, but just thinking about it now. Not something you think about very often, right? Hiding bodies in snow. Make this darker, or should I make this lighter? This should be probably, no. Yeah, we'll decide the color later. Whatever the color was, yeah, it'll just be white for now. That's fine. Trying to think of what the actual button should be. So this is the name of the planet, the actual ship thing, the content. Really, it needs to be the base stats of the ship? Huh. How are we doing that in ship details? We just have a stat holder, so let's copy that and paste that into here and move it down a little bit. Just zero this out, and then at the right it should be that. The bottom should be 50. And insanely, it preserved the body, slowed down decomposition, plenty of evidence left over to nail. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, this is not working. My jacket is throwing off the color balance. I'll just have to freeze, it's fine. I really don't know how to stop my camera from auto. Wait, what? Why is it doing this now? Come on, camera. Stop. I don't know why it auto adjusts like that. Nope, that's nope. Okay, let's not touch that. Let's do that, and then now that should stop happening. There we go. I think that's right. Yeah, that's still a little, still the wrong color, but can I shift that back? That's closer to right. Yeah, it's closer. All right. Yeah, I don't know how to stop the camera from auto-adjusting the color balance like that. It's really annoying, but it doesn't seem like there's any option to stop it from doing that. I always have to do something to appease it. So this is ships. This needs to go in here, I believe. Yes. Yes, okay. And so now we should be able to show the stats of whatever ship you are about to train. And I have to think, okay, so this is the ship details component. Let's edit this and see what we find. Might be... So there is the create stat stuff. Really, this should be in... Where should this be? So we do want a ship stat display component. So let us, I guess, create that. So say ship stat display component. So this will display the stats of the ship, so we can rip that functionality out of here. Is that all this does? For the most part, yeah. Okay, well, functionality is going to be slightly different anyway, but let's say public ship stat display component stat display. What we will say is it's causing my college PTSD to act up. What did you go to college for? Because I went for like computer science. Oh my god, why? Why is the camera screwing up like this? I don't understand. Oh my god, why? Okay. So why is that so weird? I'm not stopped questioning this camera stuff. It doesn't make any sense to me why it just seems immune to doing what I want. There we go. Yeah, they in my college classes they taught us Java. Unfortunately, they didn't teach us C#, which makes me kind of sad. But what do I want to do? Oh, graphic design. Okay, it was good working in Photoshop and Unreal Engine, but when it came to coding. Yeah, well, Unreal Engine is actually pretty cool because it has the, what's it called? It has the visual scripting stuff, which is actually really good. Like, Unity has some visual scripting stuff, but it's nowhere near the level that Unreal is. So I want to do this and that, and then ship component ship. Basically just show stats, wait, stat display.show stats. Why did they make you, for graphic design, why did they make you do coding? Was it like a game development kind of thing? Like a, I don't know, like a dual kind of, like, you know, was it game development classes in graphic design or something? Because I've seen that a bit in, oh, I made a racetrack, turn half of the shortcuts into traps to be a troll. That's Oh my god. Sounds like an I want to be the guy racing game. Yeah, for the previous thing that I was doing, I actually made a racing game, but I didn't get that far with it. It's just the physics in... It was a general graphic design thing. I learned a bit of everything. Okay. So they consider... Interesting, they consider coding a part of graphic design. I didn't know that. That's really cool. I'm glad that they're starting to do... I'm glad that coding is working its way into other disciplines. I mean, other people probably aren't very glad for it, but, you know, it's always nice to see more programmers. It's like probably how mathematicians feel when they're like, yes, you know, we finally managed to get math into writing. Animation, coding, art, storyboarding. Oh, that's cool. I guess that makes sense because graphic design is such a wide field. This is the ship stat display. So we need that, and then I want stats to go there. And prefabs, stat. Uh-oh. Huh. Coding was to make a website though, so I have no idea how that fit in. I mean, I guess it depends on what you were coding. I mean, I guess like, I mean, it depends on what they were teaching you in terms of coding. Was it like JavaScript or was it like HTML? Because like HTML is kind of important for like I guess if you were designing a website, you'd need to know a little bit about HTML, depending on what you were doing, but I don't know. I mean, it used to be the case that you could write websites fully in HTML, but now it's much harder to do that. So this is the stat counter. This subject was by far the art. Recreate Magic the Gathering cards. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, my worst subject has always been art. I can't draw anything. I have to trace everything and then just hope to God that it looks okay. Alright, so I think this should still work. Honestly, I forgot this was... Oh yeah, absolutely rusty and out of practice. Oh, okay. If it was years ago, it was probably like the HTML for making a website. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, that broke. That works. Yeah, it was probably the HTML for making a website. Like modern websites, they require quite a bit of HTML, but a lot of it is like automatically generated now. So people have to write like only a small part of it, and then the rest of it just gets created on the fly by the computer. Which generally just leads to more errors as opposed to faster workflow, but you know, keeps everyone in a job, so I think that's why they do it. And if I keep an image in my head, I can put it on paper. Actually, it's a big issue considering. Oh yeah, I can imagine. It's like I imagine. Is it like getting like a song stuck in your head or something? It's the stat display component. Ship stat display component. This is the stat holder. And the stat resource counter. Okay, and then in the planet stuff, it needs to look at planet details component. This is the planet component. The ship can't get the stats. Only the planet. Ship tab set planet. This is the public. The ship tab. Wait a minute. Oh yeah. Oh no. This should go in the ship tab. Yeah. Here we go. We're like, okay, time to get this on paper. I have the head made now. I just, oh shit, a squirrel. Oh yeah. Ooh, shiny, basically. This is public, oh god, what is it? Public ship tab component. No. Ugh. Ship stat display component. Stat display. Stat display. So it is look into planet definition, right? Ship definition, right? Oh, this can't get the, this can't get the stats. Well, that's not good. Literally, Hushay. Okay. So, oh my god, what is with the lighting? Why? What is with the... Right, I will just do that. Should flood the room with enough light that it should stop being an issue. Okay. So right now, what I'm thinking is that the issue that I'm having is that I want to display the stats, but the stats aren't on the definition, but they need to be. They're on the ship itself. Oh god. Alright. Control Shift T, ship definition? Definition. Okay. And so this needs to have a public list. It's list, nope. Using system dot collections, not generic. But yeah, I would recommend. Oh wait, you used Unreal. Yeah, I'd recommend looking into the visual scripting stuff. You might understand it a little bit better. It's much easier than, especially if they were teaching you like C# or C++ in Unreal. Like even I looked into that. I'm like, oh dear God. Like the way that Unreal does the way they do their C++ integration, I understand why they do it. It's just kind of annoying. Yeah. So this needs to have a public float, hull public float. Ooh, but that's not gonna work. Speed public float. Oh no, it isn't. This is an int. That's a float. This is float range, public float range. This is damage. Really, this should be an int. So this should return a. Actually, I'll just do expression defined. Yeah. Oops, that's not what I want. It should be a new list of stat information. Nope. New list of stat information such that new stat information where the stat is equal to game constants dot instance dot stat hull. Yeah. Need a way to order these as well. Can I sort this here? Dot sort, and this will return. Ooh. Will this modify the original? In this case, it doesn't matter. I don't know what it'll sort by though, so I'm kind of nervous to do that. So what this should do is this and then that. Okay. So that's hull, and then the amount is going to be equal to hull. Now what is amount? Is it an int? It's an int for everything. That's possibly going to have to change. Okay, we can move back a couple here, move back there, go there. All right. Stat. Nope, not hull. We want speed, and then we want range, and then we want damage. Yes, stat damage. All right. And the amount, we need to put apostrophes here. This is going to be speed. This is going to be range. This is going to be damage. All right. Now we should be able to get this from the ship definition, which should be on the planet definition, which should be on the planet component. It's insane. Okay. So this is the planet details, and this is the ship tab. So the ship tab should get the planet component. Then what we can say is the stat display dot show stats, and then actually this doesn't need to take this like that. That's fine. We can actually do just the create stat stuff. Actually no. We need to say show stats, but we need to pass in a list of stat information, and then we need to say stats. And then we'll just say clear stats, and then stats for each create stat. All right, cool. And we need system.collections.generic. There we go. All right. So now this is stat display.show stats. So this should be planet.definition.ship type. Yes, .get stats. Yes, okay. So this will get the stats of the definition. And the definition should probably return its name as a stat. No. We need the idea of a text sort of stat. And because I do want to return like the ship class as one of the stats. This is the planet details. I think everything is linked up, right? No, is everything linked up, right? I think everything's linked up, right? This will do that when this is set here, okay? Yeah, let me see if I did that right, or if I need to change something else. All that looks okay. Right, let's see. Nope, something broke. Okay. Show stats, oh right, ship.get stats. Yeah, there we go. That's what I thought was broken, but I couldn't find where. Okay. And then this is going to have some issue, who cares? Alright, so if I click on this, if I click on, oh, something's broken. Of course something's broken. What's broken? So stat display dot show stats, planet definition. Do I not have planet component doesn't have a ship? That doesn't sound right. How's that possible? Planet definition. That's incorrect. So, oh, so the stat display isn't a thing. Okay. So that would be in ships, ship stat display, yeah, because I didn't link it up there. Alright, that was the problem. Or that was a problem, I should say. Don't want to be too optimistic. Okay, so yeah, this displays the ships, okay. So really this should say ship information. And yeah, this just gives us the stats of that, of the, what's it called? Of the prefab there. And really there needs to be a sort of name, or a text sort of stat. Because I do want to show the actual, yeah, the actual stat there. Trying to think. Trying to think of how I want to do the buildings and upgrade stuff. Yeah, I won't worry about it right now. I gotta think a little bit more on it. What I do want to do is I do want to get the ship and its stats. I want to basically get the stat information into the ships. So the way that we're going to do that is, oops, not with that. We need to go into the ship component and create like an initialize method. Ship component here. Actually, what we probably need is just need like a not a data object, but like a, well, sort of like a data object, but not like a scriptable object. Well, actually, you can say data, you can say definition. Move all of these into a definition folder. Do I want definition or do I want a component? Actually, never mind. I want this on the component. Nope, don't rename it. That's fine. What we can do is we can say, so this is the ship component. What we can do is we can have a section for the stats. Just say, I don't know, stats, sure. Then, actually, have that at the bottom, because that'll make more sense. we'll have a, I don't know, public float, or public, how are we going to do this? Yeah, public int speed, that will conflict with the other speed. So we need to say, this does not need to be public anymore. And really, what we need to do is that. Yeah, this just needs to be an int. Okay. Then we'll say public int hull. Say hull. And we'll say max. Max hull. Maximum. Yeah, maximum. I don't like abbreviations. Maximum hull. Then public int current hull. It's basically the health. Say public int damage, and then public int speed, or public int range. And these can be upgraded so they'll be different than the actual definition. So in here, we just need to say public void initialize. Nope, not on server initialized. I don't want that. I want this initialized with a planet component. Or do I? Because it really needs to be both a ship definition and a list of stats, oddly. Let me think about this. So, because we could do it from the ship definition, that's possible. But if you modify something, yeah, that's the hard part, is because you can upgrade, like each individual planet is responsible for the upgrades for its ships, unless we do this some other way, which is possible. But, we'll just use the planet, or we'll use the ship definition for now. Doesn't this track its own definition? I thought it did. That could be important later. So we'll have it track that. Not for sure it did, though. So say this dot definition. We don't even need this. What am I doing? Say definition equals definition. Then we will say say health or hull. Say hull max or current hull is equal to definition dot hull. Max hull is equal to. Actually, we'll do this the other way. Say current hull is equal to max hull. Yeah. Then we will say the speed is equal to definition dot speed divided by 10, I guess. So actually, this doesn't need to be. No, that'll be fine. We'll just say divided by 10. Yeah, I like that. Just so that we can have more granular upgrades. We will also have. So we have the speed, we have the whole, say this, or no, range is equal to, not random, range is equal to definition.range, and then we will say damage is equal to definition.damage. Yeah. It's basically just load the stats from the definition. And then the amount here is going to be the current hull, the maximum is going to be the maximum hull. And then the speed is going to be the speed. And then the, speed times 10, I should say. Then the, or actually no. Actually speed, this is fine to be here. And actually that's fine to be there as well. We just need to do the conversion later. The damage is going to be equal to the damage, and then the range is going to be equal to the range. Okay. Now this should read the ship from, this should read the stats from the actual ship itself. And in terms of speed, we're going to say speed divided by 10. Actually, we'll create a hidden thing called move speed. Connected float float move speed is going to be equal to, oh no, we're going to have a getter and a setter. So we're going to have get, and then the set should be value over 10. Yeah, value over 10. Whoops. Oh no, that doesn't work. Never mind. No, don't worry about it. The speed here, I guess we could change both. No, that's fine. Ugh. Gotta think about this. Okay, let's think about this. Can a setter here have multiple assignments? I've never actually tried that. So could we say, oh, but we'd have to create the hidden version of the stat. That's so annoying. Then we'd have to put it back. Alright, fine. It'll be move speed times 10. And then we'll convert move speed to an actual int. We'll lose precision, but that's fine. Should we return? Yeah, okay. And we'll just say move speed equals value over 10. Value div, whoops, equals value div 10.of. Alright, and that should promote that to a float. Yeah, that should work, I think. Yes, okay. And we should still have move speed here. I think we can't set the speed from the inspector anymore, but that's probably fine. But we do need to set the actual information, or the actual stats in here now. So the hull needs to be 150, the speed, I don't know, 25, so that should be 2.5. Actually, let's say 35. Range, I don't know, 7, and then damage, I don't know, 25. 35, sure. Sure, that'll work. And now, if I click on a planet, stats show up there. If I spawn a ship, the stats do not show up here because it is... Why do the stats not show up there? Because initialize is not being called. That's why. So on the planet component, I believe there is spawn ship. Yes, okay. So we should say the ship.initialize with the definition, oh, whoops, absolutely not. Definition, nope. Definition dot ship type. Yes. Okay. Now that should load the stats into the ship itself. So look at this planet, it's going to spawn a ship with those stats. So we spawn a new ship, and that ship has those stats, and it moves absolutely like lightning. That's really cool. Okay. And now probably need to enforce the fleet limit. So 1 second. All right, let me look at something. Okay. Sorry, I have to deal with this. Someone asking about the snow. Because, yeah, worried about there we go. Alright, so I like this. Yeah, we need to enforce the fleet limit, so the way that I want to do that is we can either... Well, I was thinking we could put the name as the first stat and then have the fleet limit be up there. But maybe... Yeah, no, I'm thinking we can do that. I'm thinking that's fine. So what we need to do for that is we need to go into the details panel once again. It's going to be our favorite place this right now. Alright. Need to go into the details panel, into the planet details. Planet details, yes. Okay. And then in the tabs and ships, that one's automatically enabled. I don't know if that's good or not. Probably not. We want the top to be down by 40. And then we want to grab the, what's it called? It's a UI prefab. It is the stat counter. I want to grab one of those. And I don't know why that's anchored there, but it apparently is. Let's center this. Yeah, there we go. Let's not center this. Let us pull this up to the top like that. Let's anchor it to the top. Let's set the pivot at 1, not 0. And anchor it to the top like that. Let's unpack this completely. I just wanted it to look relatively similar. So this will be the name. Then you have the icon. I don't know if that's going to be useful. Probably not. So I'm going to duplicate it, because that's totally the button I meant to hit. Put the name here. Just say name. And then, yeah, this will be the fleet limit, not the amount. Yeah, the name, and then that's the amount that we have, or that we have, basically. So it's going to show the ship name and then the actual number that we have. Okay, so now that we have that, what we need to do is we need to probably disable the ships tab. And then we need to edit the planet details component. So we'll go here, edit script. In the ship tab, we will have a public, no. Oh, the ship tab component, okay. So in here, yeah, so we have the stat display. A public text, so this will be a TMP text. Oh, don't I have TMP in here? All right, using TM Pro, we'll have TMP text. And this will be the name. Then we'll have a public, we'll have another one. This will be the fleet limit. Fleet limit, all right. 1 second, I have some other stuff I need to do. Okay. All right. Okay. So I have the name and then the fleet limit. And what am I trying to do? The planet component itself needs to track that. So we'll say public int ships, or I guess current ships. Then whenever we create a ship, we'll say current ships plus equals 1. I guess we could just say plus plus, but you know. Yeah, let's just do that. That's probably fine. Okay, so now we can read that. And then the fleet capacity, I think, is stored in the definition. Yeah. But I actually want that on the planet component because I think that could be increased. So say public int fleet limit. And so on awake, we'll say private void awake. Say the fleet limit is equal to definition dot fleet capacity, and we will just rename that to fleet limit. So this is the number of ships that each planet can support, because that's individual to the planet itself. It will probably be all the same to begin with, and you'll probably have to build like a building on the planet in order to increase it. That's probably what that will be. Might just get rid of the upgrades tab and use buildings as upgrades or something, or get rid of one tab or the other, because they do seem superfluous at this point. But yeah, think about that in a little bit. So this is spawn ship, current ships plus plus, okay, cool. Ship component, we no longer need that. The ship tab, that's fine. The set planet here, The stat display, so the name is going to be equal to the planet.definition.shiptype.name. Oh, we don't have names for the ship types? Oh, that can't be a thing. Alright, we need to go to the ship definition. Yeah, this should have a name. Oh, it's the ship class. Okay, that's fine. Ship type.ship class. There we go. Name.text, right. And then the fleet limit.text is going to be equal to an interpolated string. So if you're not familiar with C#, you can do what's called interpolation in C#. This is where you basically put the $sign in front of a string, and then anything inside these brackets gets replaced. So say planet.definition, or no, sorry, planet.fleet limit. It's current ships, and then planet.fleet limit. Yeah. So what this will do is this will just replace planet.current ships inside the string. It's just a little bit cleaner than doing the plus signs everywhere. I wish they had an actual format command, but apparently they don't. Wait, actually, does replace work? No. Okay. So now this should update, or it shouldn't update, but it should at least show the stats. Should at least show the fleet limit is what I need to say. And what we need to do is in the ship tab, what we need to say is on click spawn. We actually need the button as well. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. So what we will do is we have a public, is it TMP button? TMPro button, or is it just the regular button? Does TMP have its own? No, okay. It's just button from Unity. Nope. From Unity engine.ui. Because we have the ship button, but we don't want to be able to click that button if we have too many. Oh, why not make it a bit like StarCraft? You need to build more pylons. Yeah, I guess you could build pylons. That would be fun. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I've been wondering how to do the sort of fleet capacity stuff, and I might decide to do that. I might just ultimately have one global sort of cap. Well, actually, I think in the original, because planets could train different kinds of ships, I didn't want people to be able to just spam one kind of ship. I wanted them to have to actually, like, oh no, I mean for the upgrades. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could do, oh yeah, so what you say, oh yeah, because in StarCraft, right, you build buildings to expand the tech tree, and then you build the upgrades to actually change stats, and that could work. So there could be like a tech tree. That could work. That's an idea. I like that. I have to think about that. Yeah, you need like a facility for R&D. Yeah, okay, that could work. New ship button. So this needs to say, click new ship. So this needs to say new ship button dot enabled is equal to, should be planet dot fleet limit is less than planet dot fleet capacity. Fleet, oh no, dot current ships. Yes. And we probably need a refresh UI, public void refresh. Oh, no, this should be set planet. Actually, public void refresh. Need a refresh button, basically. We just need to say planet equals planet for set planet, and then in here, we need to refresh everything. Oops. Planet, 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 and planet. Alright, so yeah, anytime we click a button, we just refresh everything. But maybe those facilities require a planet to be built on. You can put it all on one planet, but if that planet goes belly up, yeah, you get boned because you lose access to all the upgrades. You have a bit more to rebuild. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. So I guess one thing you could do is you could have... No, okay, never mind. I was having a different thought. But yeah, that's a good idea, is just, you know, the buildings are bound to a planet, and then, you know, you kind of have to choose where you want to put them, because I guess the planets near the center of the system would be easier. I guess the planets near the center of the system could be smaller, so you'd have to, you know, choose your, you wouldn't be able to put all your buildings on the planets near the center, because the planets near the center technically are the easier ones to defend, just because, you know, it takes the enemies longer to get to them. But yeah, I like something like that. So whenever we do this, we want to do a refresh. Yes. Okay. So now it should stop me from spawning ships whenever we go over the planet limit. So if I do this, and then I do that. Alright. And then the planets, they all need an actual fleet limit. So we'll say the first one can only train 1, second one can do 2, and then the third one can do 3. Okay. Now let's see if this actually works. Nope, it will not work because I did not assign those. That's why it won't work. So this is planet details, should be the tabs, the ship tab component right here. Yeah, okay, so that's missing a bunch of stuff. So the name here is the label, then we'll have the fleet limit, and then the new ship button is that. Okay. Now this should work. So if I click this, you can see it does not show the name because we have not put a ship class. Alright, let's say ships, ship, I don't know, simple ship, sure. Okay, now if we click on a planet here, it shows us under the ships tab, it says this is a simple ship class, it has all these stats, and then we have 0 of 1, here we have 0 of 2. So if I do this, we should get, it should crash. Why does it crash? Is that technically considered disabled right now? It is disabled. Oh, but it should be non-interactable. That's what it should be. And did I? Ah, right. I put these conditionals backwards. It's not enabled, it's interactable. Haha, there we go. So yeah, we want it so the current ships is less than the fleet limit, not the other way around. Because the fleet limit will always be, well, no, not always, but close enough. Yeah. Okay, so now it's interactable. And now if we click it, yeah, it becomes non-interactable because we actually trained one. If we click this one, yeah, there we go. Little ships just rocket around now. It's really cool. Yeah, there we go. And so now these need to actually have a name and they need to indicate what planet they're from. It's probably a stat. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to indicate that, but they will. And now this, yeah, it maintains its 2 of 2. And so yeah, now, yeah, there we go. Okay, I like that. Then the ship itself, it's going to need a command to basically go back and refill its ammo and things. So yeah, I have to deal with that. Yeah, that was one of the main things, is that you had to have your ships kind of go back for upgrades and refitting and stuff like that. So you had to kind of take them out of combat over time. And also we need some way of harvesting materials. That'll have to be some kind of special kind of ship to do that. Or some special command, I guess. No, probably some special ship. I guess let's work on that. Let's work on the harvesting materials. Because I think we can do like a right click to harvest. And then it'll really be like StarCraft. So yeah, that's what we'll do, is we'll just have, yeah, we'll work on the harvest orders. But I'm going to take a quick break and turn the heat up because I am getting cold. Yeah, I'll see you guys in a minute. Thank you for bearing with me. Alright, and I am back. Apologies, that was a bit longer than I expected. So, I went and grabbed a hoodie from a place you've never heard of. I really should reverse my camera, but I don't. But this should be much easier for my... it should be easier for my camera to pick out rather than the silver jacket that I have. And also, this is a little bit warmer. I haven't worn this in a while, so it feels weird. But also, is my mic is unmuted. Good. Okay, so we're going to work on the harvesting stuff. So what I want to happen, at least for the moment, what I want to happen is whenever I click on a ship, if I right-click on a resource node, what I want to happen is I want the ship to go over, I want it to shoot a little laser at it, and then I want it to come back to the planet, and at that point I want the resources to go into our bank, basically. So let us work on that. So the first part is basically the right-click detecting that we've clicked on a resource node. So we already have something like that in the ship component. Have to find it. It detects when we click on an enemy. It does that somewhere. Does it do that? No, it's the selection controller component. That's what does it. Yeah, it's all of this nonsense. Okay. So if something is selectable, if it is selectable and our team, so this is the handle selection, but this is the handle orders. So if we manage to hit something that is selectable, if the selectable can receive orders, or if the selected thing can receive orders, and if the thing that we have selected is on our team, and if the thing that we just hit is on the enemy team. So really, we need to have an is resource. And what we will do, or the way that we can do that, is with the resource node component. So basically we need to take this conditional out, and then we need to first check, well, it doesn't really matter what order we do them in. We can say this, we will say else if, actually no, we do need to check the resource node, the existence of a resource node first. Whoops, not else, we need to do else if. So if the target, we should say .get component now. So this is the selectable. So we need to say if hit.collider .get component resource node component. Okay. If the target is selectable, so the resource node component should always be selectable. Like all resource nodes will be selectable. So that's fair. What we should say is we should say var resource node. Say hit.collider.get component. We'll say if resource node. And then what we need to do is we need to say target.can receive orders selectable target. Okay, never mind. Or on enemy team target. So basically whenever we target a selectable, there we go. Okay, that'll work. So if this is a resource node or it's on the enemy team, then we target a selectable. And so in the ship component, when the ship receives orders to target a selectable, yeah, there we go. So now we need to check if this is a ship or if it's an enemy. So giving orders to, a lot of those checks are going to have to be moved. Like a lot of these checks are going to have to be moved. Yeah, never mind. These are gonna have to be moved. Yeah, we're just gonna have to do this. And then in here, we're gonna actually, ooh, that's a problem. That's a problem, can't do that. I have to pass in the hit.collider. I think this is .gameObject, yeah. So that's the target, and then we'll say GameObject, other GameObject. Because yeah, we need to do some testing inside of the actual thing. The GameObject, other GameObject. Because it's nice to have the selectable so we don't have to get it again. But yeah, we need to do that. And then now what we'll say is we'll say if other dot not on select. What we want to do is we want to say if we need to check we need to have the on enemy team check in here. Yeah, that's where this needs to be. This is on enemy team selectable, okay. So what we need to say is if on enemy team other, then this is the attack. Elsewise, this is, or no, else, get the resource node actually. Say var resource node is equal to other GameObject.get component resource node. Say if resource node, then we debug.log, and say targeting resource node, otherwise, else if enemy team, or else if the other is on the enemy team, we'll say debug.log attacking enemy, yeah. Okay. And so I believe this will work, and I believe there aren't any compile errors from that, or are there? Because I think we only changed the I can receive orders, and that is from, but the only thing that implements that right now is the ship. Okay. So what we can do is we can go to, let's say, the sun, and we can go here, and then we can add a little ship in here, wherever that might be. Yep, you'll work. Whoops. Okay, grab this. And I want to get the enemy ship materials, yes. Basically, I just want to make this thing red. Just so, that's not right. All right. Yeah, I want to make this thing red, just so we know it's an enemy. Okay, can do that. Now we know that's an enemy, and we need to actually tag it as an enemy so it's not on the player team. And it really doesn't matter what the ship definition is. So I think if we start this, where is it? It's way out there. We should, yeah, we can select it, okay, but we don't have any stats for it. Okay, so we will click new ship here. Now what we should be able to do is we should be able to right click this, and we will get a debug message, which we do, targeting resource node. And so now if we click on, where'd the enemy ship go? Did I not put it at 0? It's not at 0. Why is it not at 0? Let's just put it here, and then we'll just put it over here. This is fine. All right. Now we can unpause. Yeah, here we go. So we have our enemy ship here, which we can select, and now if we right-click on it, we get the attacking enemy. So now it can determine which thing that it's been told to do. It's basically what I'm trying to say there. Okay, I think we'll keep the enemy ship for a while. Yeah, whenever it targets the resource node, we basically need to activate some kind of AI to run on it. And so what that will do, maybe we can do that through a coroutine. Because what it needs to do is it needs to go up to the resource, mine it, and then when it's done with that, it needs to basically go back to its home planet. And we need to set the home planet somewhere. So yeah, trying to think how we can do that. We could probably have a component to manage the AI for it, actually. Say like I don't know, AI component or something, or ship AI component. AI component, yeah. Then we'll just have a method that says public void harvest from, or harvest resources. And so we'll have a resource node component. This will be the target. Then I guess we'll just have a public int mode, or I guess protected int mode. So this will just be, well, what will this be? No, I don't want this to be a int. I want this to be something else. I want it to be a method. So I want to say public action, I think. No, action. I think this is from system, something we can say using system. Now we have an action, and so an action just points to a method that returns nothing and takes no arguments. So this will be the, I guess, main. Or not main, this will be like the run method or something. And so for harvest resources, we'll have a public void protected do harvest resources, or whatever. This will be a protected void, and then what we'll say is the run method is going to be equal to the do harvest resources. And then in private, what we need to do is we need to, in the update method, we need to call the action, and this needs to be protected. So private void update. What we need to say is if run, if run is not null, then we execute run. And actually what we can do is we can just convert this to this with the question mark operator. So if run's not equal to null, it'll get invoked. And so on awake, this will be null, so it won't do anything. And I guess what we'll do is we'll say public void stop, or cancel orders or something. Cancel orders? No, we'll just say stop. And so what stop will do is it'll just stop the AI from running. All right. But basically this will conditionally allow us to take over. This will conditionally allow us to take over the ship, basically. So say a protected, I guess, resource node component. This will be the target. We'll say resource node. And so in here, resource node will be equal to target. So in the do harvest resources, what we'll say, we'll have a protected float harvest end. Yeah, and then we'll say protected int, I guess, harvest. Let's say harvest phase. And so this will be one of a few things. Or actually, we can create an enum for this. say public, or no, not public, a protected enum harvest phase. So it's going to be move to node, and then it'll be harvest, and then it'll be return home. So we'll have harvest phase here. Yeah, this will be the harvest phase. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to move to the node, it's going to take some time to harvest the resources, then it's going to return home, then it's going to loop back and do the same thing again. So what we'll do is we'll do a switch statement. And if I were doing this better, I would store a lot of this stuff in a different class. But I'm not a perfectionist right now. So this will be the harvest phase. And then the case will be harvest phase dot move to node. And then we'll have another case. This will be break. I have another case and another case. These can't be the same, that's why we get an error. This will be harvest, and then this will be return home. And we'll also have a reference to a ship component. So the AI and the ship components will reference each other. Like ship component, or ship, There we go. Actually, is there any reason? No, there is a reason. All right. So in move to node, what we will do is we will say move to, or we'll say ship move to, and this will be the target, which is the resource node dot transform dot position. Okay, what we'll say is if ship dot is done moving. So basically, if the ship is done moving, then basically it hasn't been given orders yet, and so we'll have it move to there. Say and vector3 dot distance, so the distance between the resource node dot transform dot position and the ship dot transform dot position. The ship dot transform, or no, sorry. Since we're going to be on the ship itself, it's going to be transform dot position. If the distance between them is greater than, we'll need a constant for the harvest distance. Say public static, or no, public constant float harvest distance, which is going to be I think it's going to be 0.5 for now. So if the distance between, so basically if the ship is done moving and the distance between the ship and the resource node is too high, we need to give the ship more movement orders. Otherwise, we just need to wait for it. You say otherwise, the harvest phase is going to be equal to harvest phase dot harvest. Actually, we can create a function here. No, we don't need to create a function. It's fine. We can say that's equal to that, and then the harvest end is going to be equal to time.time plus something. Really, we need to do this as a state machine, but I'm too lazy at the moment. You're going to say public const float harvest time is equal to, I don't know, 2 seconds. Plus harvest time. If we are in the harvest phase, what we say is if time.time greater than harvest end, then what we want to do is we want to say the harvest phase is equal to harvest phase dot return home, because after the harvest end is done, we want to return home. And I think that's it. And so in return home, what we'll say is if, same thing, if ship dot is done moving, and ship is done moving and the distance between us and our home world is too far, then we need to move to its position between us and whatever the ship's homeworld is. So the ship itself doesn't have a homeworld quite yet. So we need to say a public planet component home. And so if the ship is done moving, if it's within movement threshold, then we do this. Otherwise, the move to. What we need to do is we need to say public void return home. We need this as a method. So in the ship component, not the ship component, ship AI component, if the ship is done moving and the distance between the ship and its home, between ship.home and our position is greater than, or sorry, ship.home.transform.position. If we're too far from the home, then we'll just say 0.5f, come back and replace this later. If it's done moving and that, then what we want to do is we want to say ship.returnHome because it clearly hasn't gotten the memo. Otherwise, if the ship is done moving, actually what we need to say is else if ship.isDoneMoving. So it's done moving and this is not true, and we're within the harvest phase, then yeah, basically. So we need to say if the ship is done moving, then what we want to do is we want to say it's probably game manager component.instance. I guess we're going to say add resources, and we need to figure out which material the ship was carrying. I think right now we're just going to say going to reference the game constants.instance.resource materials, and we're just going to add 25 materials each time. And so we actually need to create this add resources. It's going to be public void add resources. This is going to be a resource definition because we need to know which resource to add, and then we're going to have an int amount. So we need to know how much to add. Then we're just going to get a debug.log. We're going to say, we're going to interpolate this. We're going to say adding, and then it's going to be amount, and then the definition dot name, and then s. Sure. No, we'll just say adding 25 of that. Okay. Jeez, this is really starting to wear on my brain. I think I've done this right. After we get there, we're going to say that the harvest phase is equal to harvest phase dot move to node, because now we've returned home and then we want to move to the node. Okay. I think this might just work. We need to be able to, we need to have the return home work, but yeah. We'll have a public bool returning home, returning home. If that's true, then we need to return home. So if we are done moving, we return. Otherwise, if we're within movement threshold, if we are, then we set our velocity to 0. Otherwise, it's equal to the move target not transform.position. So the move target actually, if we're returning home, then our move target, so if returning home, our move target is going to be equal to the, what's it called? The home.transform.position. Transform.position. Yes, okay. So when we are done moving, we'll say returning home is equal to false. And then when we have the return home, we'll say returning home is equal to true. And then otherwise, if we get a move to somewhere, we'll say returning home is equal to true, or is equal to false. Because now we've been told to move to a specific set of coordinates, we don't want to return home anymore. Okay. So I believe what we need to do now is we need to go into the ship component, and we need to reference an AI. We need a public ship AI component. We'll say AI. Then in this case, if we target a resource node, we just want to say AI dot harvest resources, and this will be the resource node. Okay. So in theory, this should work if I did this correctly. I know that was a very long thing, but I think I'm doing it correctly. And this is obviously not the optimal way to do it. You'd probably want, well, actually, let's put an AI component here. What you'd want to do is you'd want to do this as a state machine, and I just haven't. So we do want to set these things to reference each other. We can save that. I believe also when the planet spawns the ship, it needs to set the ship's home. This initializes the ship. So what we need to do is we need to say ship.home equals this, .home equals this. Yes. Okay. So now, if I did that right, which that's a big if, but this should now know what its home world is. And so now if we right click this, should go over, should wait there for 2 seconds, or for 2 seconds, and then it should try to return to its home, which I think it has failed to do. Yep, something's broken. That's good to know. Okay, so what is broken about this ship? Where is this ship? Tell me about you. You are the enemy. No. Okay. Where is the ship, actually? There it is. Okay. Tell me about you. You are done moving, but you are also returning home. I don't know why you're returning